Hi everyone, this is Bill Cloud of Shoreshing Ministries, and on behalf of the International School of the Word, I want to welcome you to this very short video where we're going to present to you the Hebrew alphabet or the Hebrew alphabet in sequence. In our courses, Hebrew 101 and 201, we didn't introduce the letters to you sequentially, so I've been asked to do this video so that all of our students will know what the Hebrew alphabet is from not A to Z, but from Aleph to Tav. So the first letter, of course, is the letter called Aleph. And Aleph, you should know, is a silent letter. It will take the sounds of the different nikud that are assigned to it, the vowel points that is, but it is considered to be a silent letter, and that is the letter Aleph. It's the first of the 22 Hebrew letters. The second letter is called Bet, and Bet is the letter that gets the B sound, as in boy. Now that is when it is written with the dagesh, which is the little dot or point in the middle of the letter. So when you see the dagesh, it gets the B sound, B. When it's without the dagesh, it's going to get a V sound, as in V. The letter is called Bet, but it can have either of those two sounds. And so the first two letters are Aleph and then Bet. We say alphabet, but in Hebrew we say Aleph Bet. The third letter is called Gimel, and Gimel gets a hard G sound, G, as in garage. Not the soft G sound, but the hard G sound, G, as in go. So the third letter is Gimel, and it gets the G sound, the hard G sound. The fourth letter is Dalet, and Dalet gets the D sound, D, as in David. Now, Dalet is one of those letters that we have to be very careful to distinguish it from another letter that it looks very similar to, and that's the letter Resh, which comes later in the alphabet. But the Dalet, the fourth letter, gets the sound D, or the D sound. The next letter is called He. It's the fifth letter of the Hebrew alphabet, and it gets the breathy sound, He. In fact, that is emblematically, that's what He is supposed to be. It's supposed to be representing the breath. And so He, the fifth letter, gets the H sound, He, and many times it'll appear at the end of a word. Often when it's at the end of the word, it will actually be silent, much like English words are when they end in H. Many times that H will be silent, and it's very similar in Hebrew.
We will resume this teaching after a short message from International School of the Word.
This teaching is one lesson taken from a full course on ISOW.org. If you are enjoying this video, we invite you to check out the full course in the links below. For the best value, try our All Access Pass. At just $99 per month, you can access thousands of hours worth of high-quality, world-class teaching. To check local pricing in your country, visit ISOW.org. For more great teachings like this, be sure to subscribe to this channel and follow us on our social media platforms.
Now, back to this teaching from International School of the Word.
So it's Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, He. Those are the first five letters. The next letter, the sixth one, is called Vav. And Vav will oftentimes in Hebrew serve as a vowel, and you've first learned this in Hebrew 101, but it also serves as a consonant. And when it serves as a consonant, it will get the V sound, the V sound, as in Vav. So the sixth letter is called Vav. The seventh letter is called Zayin, and Zayin gets the Z sound, as in zebra. So Zayin, the seventh letter, is Z, Z. The next letter is called Chet, and this one is a letter that looks very similar to the letter He, but unlike the letter He, there are no spaces. There's no space there where in the letter He you do have that space. So the letter Chet gets that guttural, soft guttural sound, ch, ch, chet, and it's transliterated many times as ch. So like in the name Bach, it'll get that guttural sound. So chet, the 8th letter, and it gets the guttural sound ch. The 9th letter is called tet. And tet, it gets a t sound, as in Tom. Tet. The next letter is called yud. And yud is that smallest of all Hebrew letters that looking at it written between the margins, it's kind of suspended out in midair. And yud, that small letter, gets the y sound, y, as in yellow. Now, if you've taken Hebrew 101 or 201, then you know that many times the yud will affect certain vowel sounds as well. But as a consonant, it is used to give us the y sound, as in yellow. So the first 10 letters are Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, He, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Yud. Now, the next letter is called Kaf, or sometimes it's called Chaf. And the distinction will be when you see the dagish, the little dot in the middle. When it has the dagish, it is the kaf, and it gets the hard K sound, as in king. When you see it without the chaf, without the dagish, it gets the hard guttural sound, chaf. So kaf or chaf.
You please say a prayer for us, and if you would like to give, we have 3 ways that you can do that. You can give online at isow.org/donate, or text the word give and the amount to 423-225-9022. That's 423-225-9022. You can also give through the mail at ISOW, 340 Paul Huff Parkway, Northwest, Cleveland, Tennessee, 37312. Thank you. God bless you, and may the Lord multiply your seed. Now back to this teaching from the International School of the Word.
Now, this is the first of the Hebrew letters that also has what is called a sophit, or a final form. And so when the chaf appears at the end of a word, it will be written differently. It'll be in that final form, and almost always gets the hard guttural sound, ch. So kaf or chaf. The next letter is called lamed. And lamed gets the ul sound, or the L sound. And so it's going to be the sound that would be at the beginning of the word, say like lemon, la. So it's kaf and then lamed. The next one is called mem. And mem gets the or the M sound. And this word also, this letter also has a final form, or a sophit form. And it is going to appear in its sophit form only at the end of words, but it's always going to get the M sound. So the second set of letters beginning with the chaf is kaf, lamed, mem. Then the next letter is called nun. And nun gets the N sound, as in Nancy. And nun also has a sophit letter, or one that appears at the end of a word. It's written quite differently than it is when you see it at any other part of a word. But it's always going to get that N sound, So kaf, lamed, mem, nun. The next letter is called samech. And samech gets the S sound. So we have kaf, lamed, mem, nun, samech. And samech, again, it gets the S sound. The next letter is called ayin. Now ayin, remember, if you've taken Hebrew 101, is also considered to be a silent letter, and will take on the sounds of those vowel points that it is attached to. So ayin comes after samech, and ayin is a silent letter. The next letter is called pe, or also Fe. And it's going to be regarded as Pe and get the P sound, as in Paul, when we see the dagesh or the point in the middle of the letter. When we see this letter without the dagesh or the point, then it gets a PH sound or an F sound, as in Philip. So it's Pe, also called Fe, and it's going to get the P sound when we have the dagesh in the middle. It'll get the PH sound when it does not. But Pe is also one of those words that has a final form. And when it is at the end of the word, the look of the letter is quite different, but it's going to get that PH sound, as in Joseph. So going back to our second set of Hebrew letters, beginning with Kaf, it's Kaf, Lamed, Mem, Nun, Samech, Ayin, Pe. The next letter is called Tzadeh. Tzadeh. And you should recall that Tzadeh is one of those unique sounds because it's a TS that's blended together, or a TZ that's blended together. And Tzadeh is also one of the letters that has a final form. So it's written differently when it appears at the end of a word, but it's also going to get that TS or that TZ sound. So Tzadeh follows after Pe. And then we come to the letter called Kuf. And Kuf, like the Kaf, gets the hard K sound. So Kuf, K as in king. So going all the way back to the very beginning of the Hebrew Aleph Bet, the sequence would be this: Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, He, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Yud, Kaf, Lamed, Mem, Nun, Samech, Ayin, Pe, Tzadeh, Kuf. And then we have three other letters. The next letter after Kuf is called Resh. And Resh gets the R sound, the sound. And remember, this is the letter that looks an awful lot like Dalet. So you have to be very careful that you distinguish between the two. But Resh gets the R sound. The next letter is called Shin, also called Sin. And the difference will be if the dagesh is on the right-hand side, or the right arm of that letter, it gets the SH sound. If it's on the left, it gets the S sound. So it's either called Shin or Sin, and depending on the location of the dagesh. So after Kuf comes Resh, then Shin or Sin. And then we come to the last letter in the Hebrew Aleph Bet, which is the letter Tav. And Tav oftentimes will be seen with a dagesh or without, but it's always going to get the T sound, as in Tom. So those are the 22 letters of the Hebrew Aleph Bet, including the 5 letters that have a Sophite form. So I want to go once more from the very beginning all the way to the end so that you can hear and see the sequence of the Hebrew letters. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, He, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Yud, Kaf, Lamed, Mem, Nun, Samech, Ayin, Pe, Tzadeh, Kuf, Resh, Shin, Tav. So, I hope that helps you. I hope that that explains a little better how things are in sequence, and I hope that helps you learn your Hebrew ABCs. Again, this is Bill Cloud of Shorshing Ministries. Thanks for joining us. On behalf of the International School of the Word, Shalom.